Hey, yeah, how's it? This is Bo out here in Kansas. I got something that's real important. It's pertaining to the hunting seasons out here in Kansas, and we have the zombie deer disease that's complicating the hunters. I'd like to read you something from Topeka today. Wildlife officials are raising awareness of a zombie-like disease ahead of the upcoming 24-25 Kansas deer hunting season, along with few other need-to-knows. Department of Wildlife and Parks, to get the latest information on where things stand ahead of the next deer season. Wildlife Disease Program Coordinator Shane Hesting and Big Game Promotion Coordinator Levi Jester are sharing what hunters need to be aware of heading into the season, especially where chronic waste disease, CWD, also known as the zombie deer disease. Debunking the CWD myth. Now this is important too. Hunters should be worried about coming into contact with the chronic waste disease through deer they kill this year. Some hunters have raised concerns recently of contracting chronic waste disease through deer carrying the disease, which is widespread in parts of Kansas. So if you're out hunting and you kill a deer and you come to find out it's got chronic waste disease, now listen to this. Currently, there is no evidence of people contracting chronic waste disease through deer, something which can be backed up by a recent National Institute of Health study that concluded the disease is unlikely to make the jump into humans. However, this doesn't mean the danger is completely, excuse me, the risk is not zero though. Wildlife and Parks does not recommend eating a sick deer. Common sense. You know, you see a deer and he looks sick, well, I'm not real hungry right now about that. So you dispose of it. Now, how do you dispose of it? Now listen. Hunters think that they can cook deer meat enough to get rid of the chronic waste disease. Chronic waste disease should also abandon this strategy. Hastings said chronic waste disease is caused by prions or proteins gone bad, which require extremely high temperatures approaching 1,000 degrees to destroy. So, if you got a deer that's chronically waste disease, you immediately got to turn it in, turn yourself in, and then figure out what they want you to do. But if you can get a high enough temperature, 1,000 degrees, to destroy it. Okay, where is the chronic waste disease in Kansas? Health officials with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show chronic waste disease present in 49 counties in Kansas. 49. The majority being in the western half of the state. The most recent published map, dated July 24, from the CDC, can be found below. So I do have a map of it, of the United States and Kansas. Countries marked red are areas where positive cases of CWD, chronic waste disease, have been confirmed. Boy, there's a bunch of them in Wyoming. The CDC map has not changed from its report or from earlier this year, showing chronic waste disease is not being reported in other parts of Kansas yet. CWC, once reported in the area, remains in the local soil for water for years, making it difficult to remove. Let me read that again. The CDC map has not changed from its report earlier this year, showing CWD is not being reported in other parts of Kansas yet. Chronic waste disease, once reported in an area, remains in the local soil and water for years, making it difficult to remove. The staff concluded surveillance of the disease in the southwest zone of Kansas last year, but are moving their attention to the northwest zone in 2024. This is the heaviest hit part of the state in terms of chronic waste disease, which merely half of all survivor deer found to be carrying the disease. Now, let me read that again. This is the heaviest hit part of the state in terms of chronic waste disease, with nearly half of all surveyed deer found to be carrying the disease. So I misspelled that. Surveyed. So it continues to say, CWD testing and management. They encourage hunters to take advantage of free testing for chronic waste disease being offered this year. He said the current KDWP budget allows for about 1,200 free tests of deer throughout the state of Kansas, except for the Northwest Zone, where 300 tests are already marked down for use. Hunters can find information on testing in the KDWP hunting summary or on the KDWP website. On the bright side, we still have a healthy deer herd for the most part, and the herd in Kansas is huge. That's what the prevention is in 2.5-year-old bucks. The Northwest Zone is about to flip a coin now, but we have a lot of healthier deer out there. We have a lot of healthier, nice big bucks to hunt. Hunters should not shy away from taking down yearling bucks, or it does help control the disease spread. Yearling bucks can take the disease with them to new parts of Kansas, while doe groups carrying the disease will help keep CWD situated in a specific area. That's one way it can help control the spread. If hunters could target those and take out some of the doe groups, once it's in a doe group, it pretty much stays in that area. That's interesting. Hunters should also be on the lookout for episodic hemorrhagic disease, EHD, which is being monitored by the KDWP staff. The disease is transported by biting midges. Biting, MIDGES, midges. The disease is transported by biting mudgees and can cause deer to experience dehydration, fever, and death. There are some recent observations of an uptick in EHD activity in Kansas. They think the wet weather is keeping it EHD. I think the wet weather is keeping the EHD at bay this year. Keep an eye out for sick deer and report them to wildlife and parks. Common sense. What does a sick deer look like? Anywhere in Kansas holds a chance for a mature quality deer. Our numbers are high in the southeast and northeast. We decline as we move west across the state. The best chance for seeing deer are likely eastern Kansas this year. Yay, that's where I'm at, eastern Kansas. Hunters also reminded to follow the new hunting regulations on trail cameras, which were banned on KDWP lands last year, following public outcry. Frequent thefts and misuse were cited last year as being leading factors behind the ban. I didn't know that. Trail cameras were causing a lot of disturbance. A lot of people were using those not to monitor game anymore and were monitoring other hunters. Isn't that something? Okay, now there's also a carcass movement, and the commissioners will also be discussing a carcass movement regulation during the August 29 meetings in Hays, Kansas. This will include talks of strategies being used by other strategy states to help reduce the spread of diseases like the chronic waste disease to other parts in Kansas. For non-resident hunters that only qualify for the draw is done, usually completed. Any deer, rifle tags, that draw is done in June, so that is completed. Most of our tags for our resident hunters are over-the-counter eligibility. All right, that's about it. That's 11 minutes into it. I'll leave the letter there in the prescription down below and send out a map of the chronic waste disease in the state, and that'll probably be the thumbnail. So this is Bo out here. Have a good one. Catch you later.